Imagine standing in a crowded ancient city. The air is thick with smoke, drums pound, and priests lead a terrified child toward a fire. The crowd watches in silence. Some believe they are saving their people from famine. Others believe the gods demand it. The child is offered and the screams mix with the chanting. It sounds unthinkable today, yet in the ancient world this was reality. Entire civilizations built their survival around child sacrifice. To us it is cruelty, but to them it was devotion. Across Mesopotamia, Carthage, Mesoamerica, and beyond, children were given to gods of fire, rain, and death. This is not myth. Archaeologists have uncovered graves, burned remains, and inscriptions that confirm the darkest fears. Why would parents give up their children? Why did entire societies accept it? To understand, we must go back thousands of years, to a world ruled by fear and faith. For ancient people, the world was dangerous and unpredictable. Crops failed, rivers flooded, plagues spread, and enemies attacked. They believed unseen gods controlled everything, and the only way to survive was to keep those gods satisfied. Sacrifice was common, but children carried a special meaning. They were pure, innocent, and seen as the most valuable gift a family could offer. To give up a child was to prove complete loyalty to the gods. Some parents believed that by sacrificing one child, the rest of the community could live. Natural disasters often triggered these rituals. Droughts were explained as punishment from angry gods. Floods were warnings. Wars were believed to be tests. In this environment, leaders turned to the most extreme offering, children. This belief spread across continents, appearing in cultures that never met. From Mesopotamia to Mexico, the pattern repeats. The gods wanted the young, and parents obeyed. 3. Mesopotamia. The first evidence. Mesopotamia, the so-called cradle of civilization, also carries some of the earliest signs of child sacrifice. In the ancient city of Ur, archaeologists uncovered royal tombs filled not only with treasures but with bodies. Among them were children, laid beside rulers, as if their deaths were part of a sacred duty. Clay tablets mention rituals where children were offered to gods during desperate times. The goddess Ishtar, associated with love and war, was believed to demand blood. When crops failed, or when cities faced enemies, children were chosen as messengers to the divine. The act was brutal. Children were killed by fire, buried alive, or slain with blades. Priests carried out the rituals while families watched, believing this ensured survival. Mesopotamia shows us an early truth. As societies grew more complex, their gods demanded more. And often, the price was paid in the lives of the youngest. 4. Carthage, the Tophet of the gods. Carthage, a great North African city founded by the Phoenicians, became infamous for child sacrifice. Here, children were offered to Baal Hammon and the goddess Tanit. Archaeological sites known as Tophets reveal rows of urns filled with the charred remains of infants and small children. The rituals were public and terrifying. Historical accounts describe priests placing infants into the outstretched arms of a bronze statue. Flames burned below, consuming the offering. Drums and music drowned out the cries so parents would not hear. Roman writers accused the Carthaginians of mass slaughter, claiming thousands of children were sacrificed during times of war or disaster. Some historians argue Rome exaggerated to paint enemies as monsters. Yet the evidence in the Tophets is undeniable. Hundreds of burial urns contain burned bones. To Carthage, this was not murder. It was devotion. Parents believed that offering their children ensured protection of the city. Families who gave up their infants were honored. Refusing could mean angering the gods and risking disaster. Carthage became the symbol of child sacrifice in the ancient world. Its legacy is still debated, but the graves tell a chilling story of faith taken to the extreme. 5. Mesoamerica, Aztecs and Mayans. On the other side of the world, Mesoamerican civilizations practiced sacrifice on a massive scale. The Aztecs believed the sun would not rise without blood offerings. Children became vital sacrifices to gods of rain, agriculture, and fertility. During times of drought, Children were chosen for rituals to Tlaloc, the rain god. They were dressed in fine clothes, adorned with jewelry, and paraded before the community. Priests believed the tears of the children would bring rain. The more they cried, the more effective the ritual. Some were drowned, others had their hearts cut out on temple altars. The scale was staggering. Spanish records describe hundreds of children sacrificed in a single ceremony. Archaeological digs confirm mass graves of young victims around temple sites. The Mayans also practiced child sacrifice, though often tied to royal rituals. Children of noble bloodlines were seen as the most powerful offerings. They were thrown into sacred cenotes, deep water-filled sinkholes, as gifts to gods of the underworld. Many remains have been found at Chichen Itza, confirming the stories. For these civilizations, the act was not only religious but essential for survival. Without the gods' favor, there would be no rain, no crops, and no life. The sacrifices were brutal, yet to the people, they were acts of hope. 6. Ancient Israel and the cult of Moloch. The Bible records disturbing accounts of child sacrifice in ancient Israel and its surrounding cultures. The Canaanite god Moloch became infamous for demanding children. Rituals often took place in the Valley of Hinnom, a place later associated with hell itself. Children were placed into the fire as offerings to Moloch. Prophets condemned these acts, calling them abominations. Yet the practice persisted for centuries. Some kings of Israel were accused of allowing it, blending foreign worship with local traditions. The struggle against child sacrifice became central to the rise of Judaism. To reject the burning of children was to declare loyalty to a single God who demanded devotion, but not the death of the innocent. This conflict left a deep mark on Western religion. The memory of Moloch became a symbol of ultimate evil. Even today, his name is used as a warning of blind devotion that consumes the innocent. 7. Other cultures and lesser-known cases. Beyond the great civilizations, child sacrifice appeared in many corners of the world. The Druids in ancient Europe were accused by Roman writers of burning children in large wooden figures, though some debate remains about the truth of these accounts. In the Andes, the Inca performed mountaintop sacrifices known as capacocha. Children were taken to high peaks, drugged, and left to die in the freezing cold as offerings to mountain gods. Many of their bodies, preserved in ice, have been found in modern times. In parts of Africa, oral traditions recall rituals where children were buried under foundations of new buildings, believed to bring strength and protection. Though smaller in scale than Carthage or the Aztecs, these practices reveal a haunting truth. The idea of sacrificing children to the divine appeared again and again, across continents and centuries. 8. Decline and condemnation. As new religions spread, child sacrifice began to disappear. Judaism, Christianity, and Islam all condemned it as a grave sin. Philosophers and leaders saw it as barbaric, a sign of ignorance. Laws were written to forbid it, and over time it faded from mainstream practice. Yet even in decline, whispers of the old rituals remained. Ancient writers used child sacrifice as the ultimate symbol of cruelty. Communities that once accepted it came to see it as shameful. What was once holy became remembered only as horror. 9. Legacy and final reflection. Today, the thought of sacrificing children to gods feels unimaginable. Yet history shows how fear and faith can twist human judgment. Parents believed they were saving their people, even as they gave up what was most precious. The graves, the temples, and the burned remains remind us of the cost of blind devotion. These acts were not forgotten. They became warnings passed down through religion and history. And perhaps the most haunting fact is this. Across the world, different cultures invented the same ritual without ever meeting. The gods demanded children and humanity obeyed.